Hi, good people. We Need to Talk 23 is back. And joining me tonight for my first episode of season three, I have three of my podcast family members joining me. I have Del P.
What's going on, Black America?
I have Vonnie.
Hey, what's going on?
And I have Uncle Dolomite.
Good evening, motherfuckers and motherfuckers.
He never changes his facial expression. That shit be priceless.
That's good. It's authentic. It's authentic. All right, so I'll start here. So Del P was, what's the name of your podcast, and tell the people.
Oh man, it's the Man Cave, which is really inconsistent at this moment because Ken overworking me. But it's the Man Cave, man. It's I came up with the concept because I literally was not having a platform to speak from our preference and our perspective on things. So it actually pans out well for me when I do get the right kind of men to come in and talk about things outside of like, you get tired of hearing the men cheat, this shit. It's like there's good news out there. There's like we have feelings, we have emotions. So I kind of push that narrative when it comes to Man Cave though. So that's really what it's about to sum it up.
Vonnie.
What's up? Okay, I am Vonnie from the Late to the Party podcast, and we are getting ready to launch our season 3 as well. My co-host is Lady Aces, and we talk about modern issues or modern topics with a retro spin or sensibility about it. So I know as a 30 something now, it's so hard trying to keep up with pop culture. So, trying to stay modern, but also, thinking back to the stuff that kind of made us us. That's it.
All right, Uncle Dolomite.
The Too Much Game podcast. Exercise the demons of bitch ass niggas and punk ass bitches. I use current events to basically parallel what's happening in the world to give advice based on where they fucked up at and how you could avoid fucking up how they fucked up in any given situation going on to make it relatable.
All right. So I brought you three on tonight to talk about something that's been on my mind for a minute, and I was kind of scared to touch on it, but I said, you know what, somebody gonna do it, let it be me. I want to talk about bullying and bully culture. Now, I know when people hear this, they're thinking, the old school, bullying concept of, was it like Marty McFly and Biff? They they thinking shit like that, some Back to the Future type shit. But the bullying that I'm referring to is just the way our world today operates. And I'm not talking about Black America, white America. I'm just talking about the country as a whole when it comes to, if for the most part, if you don't believe in what I believe in, you're wrong. And and you can, and sometimes you will end up getting canceled. So I want to just, start off by getting your thoughts on, on this bully culture. Whoever wants to start.
We'll let Bonnie go first.
All right, tight, because I had something ready. Um, I like to call bully culture like outrage culture. That's what I often refer to it as. And I think it's because nowadays, especially younger folks, right, more access to the technology, there's that sense of safety in numbers. And so it's like any riot, right? It's like a riot in real life. Like you destroy more stuff when there's more chaos going on, more people kind of added to the flames, and you have less of that personal responsibility. I think it comes from people who don't get to feel that power in their everyday lives and using the tools that they have in order to again enact their outrage. So I can't, this actor looks good, blah 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 blah. I can't really personally affect them, but I can get me and my seventh grade class or whoever to attack them and sort of get the outcome. It's a means of power. And it is interesting because I feel for especially young people. I don't know about the 40-year-old in Missouri who's, you know, heating up hot pockets and has a problem. I don't know about that. But for kids, I feel because they don't know any difference. Like they just tagging on to something that seems to make sense and gives them some sense of control and ease.
Okay.
Yeah, it's groupthink at the end of the fucking day. And to me, that's a weak ass mindset. But a lot of motherfuckers teach their kids that shit. Like a lot of motherfuckers, like especially like when it comes to like getting on to the cause. Like everybody wants to be rowing in the same fucking direction, right or wrong. When you see everybody doing something, and it's crazy because like a lot of us, we was raised on if your friends jump off a bridge, you gonna jump too. It seemed like a lot of motherfuckers ain't saying that to their kids no more. Like it's kind of like, well, your friends are jumping off the bridge. You should go jump with them. You don't want to be the fucking outcast of the crew. So just jump off the fucking bridge with their ass. And it's like I see too much of that shit. Like honestly, and y'all know me, nigga. Like I love to say the shit that motherfuckers won't say. And like that's something that I tell my wife all the time. Like I'm raising my kids to where I don't do that cause I said so shit. Like I want my kids to think critically. Like I don't mind if I tell my son go take a shower. Why? So your ass will be clean. Because a lot of times when you raise your kids on do what the fuck I said because I said so, they'll do anything that anybody say because they fucking said so. And a lot of motherfuckers is being raised on that bullshit. And I see that a lot in the culture. Like motherfuckers as a 16-year-old on fucking Twitter will tell you because I said so. Nigga, what facts do you have to back up your claims of any of the shit you arguing? They'll big smash you. Because I said Tupac is the GOAT. Nigga, that's why. Like, come on, my nigga. That
Yeah,
shit
man.
bullshit.
It's like, yeah, it's different. But the problem comes in when, to be honest, is everybody's a winner. Is the problem. Once we allow the schools to say, hey, if you get an F, don't write it in red, write it in a pencil, just like you would write it in an A. When you win an awards for losing because you get a participation, you're not teaching people to fail. So it's like, oh, then I can succeed at everything. No, you can succeed with hard work, but you in it, and then the world teaches you now where whatever TV says is right.
Yeah.
I don't think TV has been this impactful in a long time to where no matter what we say on TV goes. From when it's like when society says so, it's like that's the era we in now again. Where it's like you have a lot of people that don't have an issue with the gay culture or like interrelations, whatever you call it.
Interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
No, like whites and blacks dating, whatever.
Racial.
Interracial.
We don't have an issue with it, right?
Uh-huh.
But when society says no, not right now, it will reject it. But now, hey, accept the gays. And now it's like we don't have a problem with it. It's the fact you're shoving it in our face now. We don't care. You doing too fucking much. You're putting it in cartoons, you're putting it in, it has to be in every storyline. Everybody's like, nobody has a problem with it. But then it's like when society says, now is the time that you should accept it, it gets overdone to the point now you're arguing with people. And it's like, dude, we don't really give a shit. It's the fact that you're forcing me to say something when I really don't care.
I feel like we said a lot in that one, and I agree with y'all a lot. I look at the gay issue differently because I consider myself a queer woman, so I dated women, I date men. I mean, with that being the case, I always kind of get upset when people say, and I have to understand from your point of view, right? Of like, it's shoving us in our face. It's like a lot of gay kids don't have a gay option of coming of age when they're interested in someone. So in order to say it's shoved in your face, imagine you coming up being maybe you were 9 or 10 when you started to like somebody of the opposite sex. So somebody could teach you the process as a young man to approach a woman, and a lot of queer people, it's like an umbrella term. It's like a lot of queer people didn't get that experience, and they either learned in ways that were dangerous to themselves or they had to hide it. And so when you say it's just shoved in our face, it's like health class is women giving babies. You know what I mean? Imagine if you're someone who's trans and wants to change from woman to male operation. Like I just feel like that's a slippery slope sometimes.
No, you mentioned my point when you say that. So when I say shove it in my face, is when society said it wasn't okay.
I get it. Yeah, right. Not that long ago.
So now it's like what you're saying. Now y'all have the option in the window of opportunity to see this lifestyle, but it's because society is saying it's okay now.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And see, my thing as far as like, because I get your point and I get her point. My thing is, I just wish that there were more options. Because like me, as far as representation goes, I feel like it should be optional. Like, I don't feel like they should put a nigga on every white TV show. I don't feel like we should force a white person into all of our black shit. I feel like it's cool to have a BET. It's cool to have whatever the fuck shows they watch. But I also feel like there should be a channel on TV where a kid who feels like he's going to make a different lifestyle choice could have representation. Where there is gay marriage on the show, or a trans kid, like kids that look like them. Yeah, you can put it in shows on regular networks and all that good old shit, but I do feel sometimes it can be excessive. Where a lot of the cartoons we grew up on, like I was telling my wife, like the thing I don't really like about the whole issue is when I was 6 or 7, I didn't know what gay was. Like that shit didn't factor in, but it's like y'all putting this shit in like little kid shows. Like, nigga, I don't even want my kid thinking about what nobody do sexually at that age. Like that shit should be age appropriate when it come to introducing motherfuckers to any type of sexuality. Because when you little, you don't even know whether or not you like girls yet. So why do I have to see a gay marriage? Why do I have to see a trans person? Because that shit don't even factor into my thinking at that point. Like, I get when they 11 and 12, because you for sure making them choices. Like, so yeah, but you should have a. Go ahead.
I feel you on that, but here's the thing. You and I mean, I know because I work with children, and by the time they get to me at 12 or 13, the patterns are set in. So you having them approach it, I get it. I don't want to get into technical. I don't think it should be anatomical, like the parts, but I do think having the conversation of like, oh yeah, some people have 2 dads. Like, you have to do it that young so that when they are of age, when they are making these decisions, that they're not going back to that dark age. And we know it's already hard. Kids are terrible. Like, they're gonna make fun of you because that whole thing with Del P said, the mainstream, whatever the popular choice is, that is a thing that just is in our society. So let's make the sexuality thing be a little bit less, because we've approached this topic early on, and so we can kind of get less brutal about it in the future. At least that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question then, Vonnie. So with when they start showing it to the kids that young, and I don't have a problem with it at all. But I like when you say to someone, I don't care what you do at your house and all that other stuff. why does it always get turned around and make it say, "Oh, well, you hate or you
Because
know, you're homophobic"? But if I don't, because I'll tell
that's a
people,
homophobic statement. It
no,
is,
no,
and
but
I'm not saying you
tell,
are, I'm not putting it, but it's the same thing of white people being like a lack of or keeping segregation because well, they're fine to exist, but I don't want them near me. And it's like you have the right to create your space, but it essentially it puts a wrongness on it. I only bring this up because there was a recent there's this reality show called Love and Huntsville, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and one of the characters has a gay brother, and the husband and the brother had a similar exchange like that. And he was telling him, well, I don't care if it's right, wrong, or indifferent. And he kind of, the gay brother was like, well, you know me, like, my life, and nothing in my life is seedy. I'm nothing but a positive example. Like, so why do you feel like the way that I conduct myself is something that I should hide from your children? You know what I mean? And that was the conversation. It comes off a little homophobic because it feels like a hierarchy thing of like, well, keep your little thing over there, but you don't get to have access. You don't get to be a regular person. You know what I mean? You get to live your way, but only in certain areas. Does that make sense?
yeah, no, it makes sense. But what I was coming at, looking at it from the standpoint of not so much of keep it behind closed doors and things like that. For example, for me, that's like um, someone bragging about having sex with their wife or whatever. I don't care what you do in your house. That's how I'm coming at it from because, like I said, for me, you do what you do, whatever makes you happy. I'm not the person that's gonna run out there and say, oh God, you're a sinner, you're going to hell and all that. When I say and I guess it might be the wrong words I'm using, but if I say I don't care means if a man loving another man, a woman loving another woman, what they do does not change my day. It's not going to make me have a good day. It's not going to make me have a better day. Not anything like that. I really believe that a child grows up with two dads, and regardless of how other people feel, as long as that child is experienced in getting love, like I said, because there's so many kids in the foster care system, all that type stuff, and that's how I come at it from. So when I say I don't care, what you do in your household, it's not for me. I'm not looking at it like, oh, just keep that shit to yourself. It's more like what you do behind closed doors to me really is your business. I don't think that you should have to come out and and profess your love to prove anything. You don't have to prove shit to me because who am I at the end of the day when it comes to your relationship, whether it's with a man and a man and a woman, woman and woman, transgender. It does not impact my day.
I
Yeah,
agree. I just want to get to the point where it's not even a thing, honestly. I always say
yeah.
like the thing, I'm like, niggas be gay. Like some people just be gay. Like it's fine.
A lot of niggas be gay. I
Yeah,
hate down low
privately.
niggas, honestly. Like
Yeah, I was gonna say privately.
cause see me, I got a lot of openly gay homeboys. And this
Yep,
is something
same
that
here.
like I get into it with a lot of my, cause like I say, I'm a gang member. Like a lot of my homeboys who be like, oh, cuz kick it with gay niggas. So I'm not gay. Like I'm not uncomfortable around gay niggas cause they not gonna fuck me forcefully. Like only thing that can happen with kicking it with a certain person is what you allow to happen. So I tell them all the time, nigga, if you feel uncomfortable around gay people, it's because there's something in your mind that make you think something gonna go down if I'm around these niggas. And that's your personal choice. These niggas ain't bigger than me or stronger than me. If sex happened between me and a gay man, it's because I'm gay. It's because I want sex from a man.
Mhm.
That's the only way that shit is gonna happen. So I fuck with these niggas because they cool motherfuckers. It ain't because they gay or straight. It's because they fucking cool. So that shit don't factor in. But like my thing as far as like with the choice and the introduction to kids, life is gonna introduce them to a lot of this shit. Like divorce. Do we gotta put divorce in cartoons? Because divorce happens too. Do we gotta put cheating in cartoons? Because motherfuckers' parents be cheating and shit. Like it's
Yep.
just some shit that as kids, I'm like,
It
do
don't be
we
making
really?
sense.
Yeah, like, do we really gotta show them that shit? Like, I get it happens.
And then if
That's
you're gonna
kind of
show it, explain it.
exactly, but that's what I'm saying. But like me,
You're
I
not
feel like that's
explaining
on
it,
the
it's just
parents
there.
to explain. Like I like to put shit on fucking parents. Like, why the cartoon gotta teach kids this shit? Like, I'm teaching my kids this shit. A lot of shit that ain't in a fucking cartoon, I gotta tell my kids, hey, yeah, you saw that little girl walking with the two men, those her dads. I'ma explain that shit. I don't need Arthur to show them that shit. I could do that. Like, I put a lot of the onus on the parents. So like, this is the reason, me personally, why I say, why the fuck it got to be in a cartoon? Because what the fuck is the parents doing? Just leaving their kid in front of the fucking TV for 9 hours?
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, nigga, what the fuck is you doing that the cartoon got to be your kid's fucking teacher?
Unfortunately, that's the thing that happened once we made that change
Hey,
from
Vaughn.
like, oh my bad.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.